Persona 2 Innocent Sin is a step above Persona 1. So in the game you play as Tatsuya, who's pretty much the only protagonist where the name is automatically filled in. Last video I said they don't really have a name, but that's because, of course they do have a name, it's just that it's not automatically filled in like Tatsuya's. Tatsuya is already there. You don't have to change anything unless you want to put in your own name. But yes, I do know every single protagonist's canon name. So here's the general rundown of the plot of the game. You play as Tatsuya Suo, a high schooler at Seven Sisters High. At the very beginning, you're asked whether you know what your dream is or not, and then you're also asked if you're going to go to college or if you're going to start working immediately if you pick you know what your dream is. I picked yes and college, which doesn't really affect the story all that much. All it does is just add a bit of dialogue. There's a few parts in the game that's like that, like the clock tower scene, if you guys know what scene I'm talking about. After taking Lisa to Kasagayama and meeting with Eikichi, who supposedly kidnapped somebody, we found out she's just chilling there, eating a bunch of shit. Cozy, or whatever her name is, who's supposed to be like the love interest of Eikichi, not even the main character, the side character Eikichi, who's also named as Mitchell or Michelle. I don't know why they call him Mitchell. They also call him Boss at Kasagayama for some reason at the school. But yeah, they suddenly start playing the Joker game, and they summon Joker, which turns Eikichi's bandmates into like shadow men, so they're like shells of their former selves and nobody but Persona users can see them. And then they go on a long adventure hunting down Joker, and that's basically the plot of the game. And there's more stuff after you find Joker and etc, but I don't really want to spoil too much if you guys are going to play it and if you don't know what happens. Right when you were able to move Tatsuya, I noticed a huge difference with movement. And when I went inside a building, there was definitely a difference because you're not first person anymore, which is kind of for the best because it's way easier to do it based on what you can actually see than just the map on the bottom right or bottom left, you know? Because I had to use the map in Persona 1 pretty much all the time, or else I wouldn't know where the hell to go at all. I already didn't know where to go at all first time. At least they had a map. Right. I also had to get used to the R right button and left button rotating the camera. Yeah, I wasn't really used to that anymore. The sprites look way better compared to the first game, but I also did use an HD mod to make this stuff look a little bit better, like not just pixelated sprites or whatever. So that might just be me, but the pixels were the same. Loading in and out of encounters were really slow though. They were like Mario Maker death screen slow, like 2 to 5 seconds, which adds up pretty quickly if you get encounters like every 30 steps or 25 whatever steps, you know? It's not as bad as Persona 2 where you literally get encountered on the map. But yeah, I just sped it up whenever I got an encounter because the fights were kind of slow. Unless you somehow mod it to run faster than it actually runs, then it's going to be a bit slow for the combat system. However, they have the contact, which they improved also because they have each person step up and they actually have their personality in it. They don't just do whatever. To get new personas, you have to contact the demons again. In order to get spell cards, you have to get a specific spell card from a specific arcana in order to get a specific persona from that arcana, if that makes sense. So if you contact and get a spell card or get the yellow engage or whatever, once you get enough cards from that arcana, you can get a persona from the same arcana that you got those cards from that persona from. It was a bit annoying to contact the demons, so sometimes I just didn't. A lot of the time I just spammed auto. And also what I found really cool was that I don't have to position the characters on certain parts of the screen. I prefer to just do the order and not have to put each character at a certain position, because when you do that, it locks only 1 or 2 characters on that side of the screen to hit only that enemy. When his character is on the right side of the screen and an enemy is on the left side, that character cannot hit it. That was in Persona 1. Persona 2, they improved that and fixed that. They removed that shit. I feel like the game was pretty easy on normal mode. It wasn't too hard. Like I could just spam through pretty much every fight except for if they were specifically just physical or magical. I just had to switch it from replay, attack, replay, magic, and reset my stuff. That's basically it. You just spam the same auto attack. For the bosses though, you kind of have to be accurate. Like the boss was not the mini bosses. They definitely improved on writing for the characters, but I think it's just because of the visual stimuli. When other aspects of a game is improved, you think that what another aspect that may have not been changed has improved. I would say the writing style and the writing is pretty similar to the first game, but it's just different themes that they're writing for, because each Persona game is pretty much a different story with different themes. I say that because some of the characters from the first game are actually in the second game, but they're just older by like a few years. I would say my favorite character is obviously going to be Tatsuya. Kinda Maya. Of course, he's silent like all the other protagonists, but he actually is defined as Tatsuya, not just boy with earring. He's his own character, and like his little character definition is to just flip a lighter, which comes from another character, June. It's explained how he got that lighter from June in a flashback a few hours into the playthrough, or my playthrough at least. Ginko, or Lisa as she's called it, is a blonde foreigner woman woman who was raised in Japan and is kind of the on or the Yukari of the group. For some reason, she uses weird sentence starters because I don't know, because she's fluent in Japanese, but she sucks at English. So why the hell does she talk like a foreigner or somebody who's not from Japan? Sometimes she says stuff like "aya" and then she starts talking normally. Like, what? Guess that's another definable personality trait. And then there's Eikichi, who's like the Ryuji Junpei of the group. Again, he's also kind of the 8th grader syndrome guy because he kind of dresses weird, but he's a rock star. He wants to be a rock star. So that's why he dresses punk emo with makeup like that. And although he's called a boss and treated like a leader, he's also compassionate and nice towards other characters. And then there's Maya. I think she might be like a main character in the second game of Persona 2 also, Eternal Punishment. She's like the positive big sister of the group who cheers everybody up when something bad happens. Like, she's usually very positive, except when trauma from the past comes back in forms of fire. She seems like another love interest for Tatsuya, but it's a bit weird because I think Tatsuya is still underage, but Maya's in her 20s. Maya's the full-on adult, but she's like still kind of crushing on him. I don't know if it's just familial love or whatever love, because she's kind of fighting with Lisa for Tatsuya's affection sometimes, but that's just a minor thing. I really like Maya too. I like a lot of these characters. And then there's Yukino or Yuki from the first game, which I didn't really play her route, but she's mandatory in the Snow Queen route, which I didn't really play. I tried playing it, but it was really boring, so I stopped because I already finished the entire main game. I'm glad that I got to play with her in the second game because I didn't really get to play with her in the first one, which is pretty good because now I don't really feel regrets. She acts kind of like the mom of the group again. Like in the first game, she was like the big sister, but now she's kind of like the mom big sister because Maya's more of the big sister this time. And then there's June, the guy that uses flowers as messages, you know, because flowers usually have deeper meanings in messages, and like apparently Maya knows all of them. Just call him Flower Boy. Flower Boy or June. He's kind of like Tatsuya, like he's compared to Tatsuya a lot throughout the game by Maya, but you don't really get to play as him until later on. He's just a traumatized little boy. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, that's pretty much it for all I can talk about for Persona 2 Innocent Sin. I'd have to play Persona 2 Eternal Punishment because a lot of people seem to keep talking about Eternal Punishment more than Innocent Sin. Like, whenever I look up Persona 2, it's just usually people talking about Eternal Punishment. Maybe Maya is the protagonist for the second one, because whenever a picture of all the protagonists are drawn, Maya is there. So I'm thinking Maya is probably the protagonist in Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. But Eternal Punishment is apparently also optional, so you don't have to play it, but it's recommended. I don't know. I'm gonna play it anyways because it looks kind of cool. And also, it's part of Persona 2, so might as well, you know. And so I'm also gonna make a review on Eternal Punishment once I finish it. I decided to make another video game review or video game Persona video because you guys seem to really like my first Persona 1 video, which I did not expect, but you know, you just gotta experiment until something hits, and apparently that video hit with thousands of people. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. I will still try to post a variety of videos though, not just specifically this. My name is CherryZero, and I will see you guys next time.